Beautiful people. My name is Dr. Tassel Faith, and we are talking about how to stop chasing your twin flame. This is a huge topic. I know this is something that it's been a real growth point for me, and talking to many other twin flames. And I know it's been a real growth point for all of us. So I first just want to honor you for being on the twin flame path. It is, I like to call it an adventure, a really grand adventure, full of everything that adventures are full of. There's challenge, there are amazing gifts, there's transformation, there are treasures, there are experiences that we would never ever have on a more average and mediocre route. And so I just first really, really want to honor you for being on the twin flame journey. And I want to say hello to my amazing sister, Heather, who's here. Yay. So deep, deep honoring to you. And please let me know how you have been potentially navigating the chasing, if chasing has come up for you in your twin flame journey. It appears that chasing may be more common for divine feminines, but who knows for sure? Let me know if you have any feelings around this. Okay, so what I first want to start with is that so much about this twin flame journey is obviously about ourselves and our own insight into ourselves, really noticing our own behaviors, our own habits, our own patterns, which usually were really set in our childhood. And a lot of these habits, patterns, behaviors really originated as trauma responses. And so we're going to talk about that in terms of chasing. Okay, so I also want to share that I notice my ego feels embarrassed talking about this, admitting that I have chased my twin flame in our relationship. I notice that there's a lot of judgment of my ego around this, that somehow I've done something wrong. Somehow I have been weak, codependent, not in my power because I have seen myself chase my twin flame. So I really want for myself and for anyone listening, just so much grace, so much self-love, so much working towards releasing any judgment of your own behaviors and also the behaviors you might see from your twin as well. I think we all know that so much of this twin flame journey is about releasing judgment towards ourselves and our twin and everyone else, and really, really coming into deeper, more embodied self-love. So just so much love to you for being on the twin flame adventure. So much love to you if you have at times or a lot of times or all the time found yourself chasing your twin flame. Just coming back to the understanding that this journey is really about you and you just having insight into yourself and coming back to yourself and coming back to whatever way of being is in your highest and best. So we talk about the mirroring with our twin flames, and so we can just see this all as a mirror. What am I being shown? What am I being shown about myself? How does that sit with me? What feels highest and best for me to do now? So blanket of grace, blanket of honoring, blanket of self-love. So much love to you. Above all, so much love. Okay, so in this video, I am going to share 7 steps that we can follow to stop chasing your twin and to really come into inner peace and inner freedom around your twin flame relationship. And I see a lot of beautiful divine feminines on here. Debbie and another divine feminine. So glad you're here. So much honoring to you, sisters. Okay, so we're going to go through 7 steps. And before we get to the 7 steps, I just want to share my own personal story about chasing and see if it resonates for you. What I realized is that I had been chasing in relationships my entire life. This was a huge aha moment for me when I really looked at my behavior towards my twin, and I really started to see, oh my goodness, this did not start with him. My chasing did not start with the twin flame relationship. I could see that throughout my entire life, in literally every relationship I have ever had, there has been some component of chasing with friends, with family members, with business colleagues, and with my twin and other intimate partners. And my professional background is that I'm a doctor of psychotherapy with a lot of more alternative training in shamanism and Reiki and Kundalini yoga and hypnotherapy. But really from my psychotherapy background, I was able to understand that my lifelong chasing of relationships had everything to do with my childhood, as most of our behavior does. And so in my childhood, growing up in my family of origin, my caretakers, I believe, were going through a lot in their own lives, and nothing malicious, no criticism of them, but they were really not able to interact with me in a way that would have been ideal. And so I was left to really, in a way, look towards, well, how can I get some attention? How can I get some nurturance? How can I get the things I need to survive? And the response was, I need to chase. I need to chase my caretakers. I need to be very attuned to them. I need to try to please them. I need to really focus on them. I need to somewhat abandon myself in order to align with them so that I can get what I need to survive as a child. Again, no criticism of the caretakers. Everyone is usually always doing the best they can with the tools that they have. So my chasing originated in my childhood as a trauma response. And it's fascinating to me. I have been through so much therapy and so much inner work, and I have a doctorate in psychotherapy. But I never really clearly saw this until more recently because of my own behavior with my twin flame. The mirror showed me the truth that I wasn't quite seeing. So, and of course, this is the benefit. This is the benefit of the twin flame adventure, that we, over time, are shown again and again and again the behaviors, patterns, habits that are not necessarily in our highest and best. And I see there's a great question here. How does one pivot from focusing outward for the things we want to refocusing inward to magnetize it into existence? Okay. And even when in union, the dynamic still plays. If you get off balance within yourself and start focusing on them more than yourself, it causes them to run. Yes. Okay. So a great question and a great insight. And I believe I'm going to cover this in the 7 steps, but just briefly, such a great question. How do we pivot from this outward focus to the inward focus? And I know this has been such a challenging growth point for me. I want to also state here that I do believe women especially are socialized to focus outward. So much of our value is in the society through our relational activities. How are we as a daughter? How are we as a wife? How are we as a mother? If we look to Hollywood movies, women often are in relational roles. So this is, I think, can be a very challenging aspect for women who've been socialized in this programming. Okay, so how do we do it? We do it, first of all, by what we're doing right now. We do it by bringing awareness to what is going on. We do it by shining the light on what is happening. We do it by noticing our own behaviors. This is the first step. The first step is just awareness. Oh, look what I'm doing. Look how I am seeking externally for acceptance, for love, for guidance. Look how I'm doing that. And questioning, is this serving me? Is it serving me to do this? Or would it serve me better to go within, to source love from myself, from spirit, from my higher self, and to go within? So really, I believe what we're talking about is just changing our habitual patterns. And we know from neuroscience that it takes about 30 days to change a habit. That's the time it takes for the new neural pathways to develop in your brain. So we bring awareness, and then we just practice. We practice a new habit for at least 30 days. And I would say what we also do is we ask spirit for help. We want to do that in every aspect of our lives, but we can just also ask spirit for help. One of my favorite prayers is, show me the way. Spirit, show me the way. Show me the way to come back to myself, to focus inward for what I'm looking for. So, and we're going to talk about this whole topic throughout these 7 steps that I'm going to share here. Okay, so this was a huge aha moment for me when I realized, oh my golly, I have been chasing after relationships my entire life. And I really, really felt grateful for my twin flame relationship to finally show this to me. I was blind to it. I really had a blind spot around this. Okay, so the 7 steps to stop chasing your twin flame and to come back to your own inner peace and freedom. So number one, we just talked about it, is be aware. Just be the mindful gardener of your life. What am I doing? Do I want to do that? Do I want to pull that weed? Do I want to plant a new seed of behavior, habit, pattern? Be a conscious observer of yourself. Be awake. Notice what you are doing. And specifically, try to be aware of why you may be chasing. Bring insight into what is the chasing all about. And what I really realized, because this was a trauma response, and I think it's a trauma response for a lot of us, is it has to do with attachment. Most of us have heard of different attachment styles. There are basically three fundamental attachment styles. There is secure attachment in relationship, where usually a person has had an experience in childhood where their needs were met. They could count on their caretakers. They felt secure. They felt safe in relationship. So in subsequent relationships as adults, they're able to lean on secure attachment. For others, for instance, myself, I believe my attachment style has been anxious attachment. I did not receive what would have been ideal in my childhood from my caretakers, and I became anxious. Will I be responded to? Will I be taken care of? Can I count on the people around me to be there? So that wasn't the case. And so I developed an anxious attachment style, which is what I was really working in my twin flame relationship. And then a third really common attachment style is avoidant attachment style. And this is often when there has been a great deal of trauma in the childhood. So understandably, the child retreats. The child, you could say, runs from relationship because the child has experienced that they're not safe. These are all very natural reactions to relationship. So often, if there is more of a runner in the twin flame relationship, there has been, it's due to an avoidant attachment style often. Okay, so when we bring awareness, when we bring light and insight to our behavior, it really opens up and we can really see, okay, I'm doing this because of this. And that starts the process of the transformation, just bringing light to the situation. So if you have found yourself chasing your twin flame, give yourself grace, give yourself love. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not weak. You are not injured permanently. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. You are perfect as you are. You are just working an outdated trauma response, potentially. Okay, so just be aware. Bring the light of awareness to what you're doing. Okay, second step in how to stop chasing your twin flame is make a commitment to really tune in to what is the highest and best way for you to interact with your twin flame or in any other relationship. Everything that we're learning in our twin flame journey, of course, we can apply to all of our relationships. A question I love to ask here is, what would my higher self do? How would my higher self behave? If I totally was embodying her, what would she do? Would she chase? Probably not. So we can just ask, higher self, show me the way. Higher self, how would you handle this exact situation that I'm in. We can ask for our highest consciousness to come in. And again, really understanding that everything we move through in the twin flame journey is really for our own insight, our own rebalancing, our own expansion, our own healing. So we can really be grateful in that sense. Okay, so we've brought awareness. We see what we're doing. We might even understand why, something stemming often from our childhood. And then number two, how would my highest consciousness handle this? Would my highest consciousness chase? Now, the third step is, okay, now actually do what your highest consciousness would do. So in my case, when I really became aware, oh my goodness, I am chasing, and I've been chasing my whole life in all my relationships because of my anxious attachment that originated in my childhood. Tuning into my higher self, how would my higher self handle this? My higher self would stop chasing. Okay, so that's what I need to do. And I'll just share that for me, this was terrifying. It felt terrifying to stop chasing my twin. Terrifying. In part because this was a brand new behavior for me. I'd never done it really in any relationship that I cared about. I always felt anxiously attached. I always felt like it was my responsibility to keep a relationship going. I always had a worry, well, if I don't do that, they're just going to go away. I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be alone. And that's one of my greatest fears. Well, I would say it was one of my greatest fears. So when we're able to really move through our greatest fears, we are really able to take our power back. I was being imprisoned by this fear of, well, if I don't chase my twin, then it's all going to fall away. There won't be anything left. I'll never see him again, and I'll be all alone. And that was one of my greatest fears, to be alone, to lose my twin. So I kept chasing. So it was really, really scary for me. On the other side of having stopped, I have found peace. I have found peace. So doing what is our greatest fear often can bring us some of our greatest peace, because we're no longer living in that state of, oh, I need to do this so that this possible negative outcome doesn't happen. If we're living that way, we're living in fear. And we also know on the twin flame journey that we're learning to not live in fear anymore. Of course, fear is the major programming of the mainstream society that we're living in, but we are learning to come back to faith, love, trust. Okay. Now, not to say that any of this is easy. So the fourth step here is to let your human have his or her feelings. We always want to allow our precious human to feel whatever is arising. So just to give an example, this has been really hard for me. It's been hard for me to stop chasing. In part because I did it for so many years, and in part because of the fear. Well, if I stop chasing, will it all just completely disappear? So I have let my human just feel everything there is to feel around this. The fear, the anxiety, what will happen if I don't chase. And so let my human have her feelings. Now, the fifth step is really to tune in to the higher perspective. of the chasing and of just the whole journey together, the whole journey in general. And I always use this comparison. I always use my two hands. What we're doing in life and in the twin flame journey is we're straddling both worlds. We are in the human, and we're a spirit being as well. So we want to allow the human to have his or her full experience, including all the emotions, and basically want to visit here. But we want to more live in this spiritual perspective, in the larger perspective of what is going on. So this step number 5 is really always coming back to this larger perspective. And if you're not sure what the larger perspective is, we can just always ask, Spirit, please show me the larger perspective here. Please show me what I'm meant to see. Please show me the teaching here. And usually chasing and running is taking place somewhat in a period of separation on the twin flame journey. And the larger perspective for separation on the twin flame journey is that, of course, it's highest and best. Whatever is happening, we know is highest and best. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. So we come back to this perspective that, okay, my human may not like it. My human may not understand what's going on. My human might choose something different if he or she could. But regardless of how my human feels about it, I know from the spiritual perspective that this separation is serving both of us. Otherwise, it would not be happening. And a really beautiful aspect that I love is to understand when you are in separation, and you may also feel isolated from other people as well. This is spirit wanting to spend time with you. This is really beautiful, sacred time for you and spirit, for you and your higher self. So we can think of it as a compliment that, okay, all these other relationships are fading into the background right now, most likely temporarily, so that spirit and I can do our thing. And we all know the amazing gifts that materialize when we spend that sacred time away from other humans and with spirit. There really are no words. It is such precious sacred time for all of us to do that. I'm sure every one of us can make a long list of all of the gifts that have come in when you have had this sacred time alone with spirit. And another way to look at it too, which is similar, is if there is separation with your twin right now, you can also look at it as protection for both of you. And for the relationship that we might not fully understand as the human, but for whatever reason, this is highest and best, and your twin is being protected, you are being protected, and your relationship is being protected during this time. Okay, now the 6th step in how to stop chasing your twin is to really focus on yourself and to really mindfully choose the energy, the outlook you are holding about the relationship and about your life in general. So, of course, this is, again, really one of the main themes in the twin flame journey is to focus on yourself. And for the divine feminines, we are more fully embodying the archetypes of the empress, of the queen, of the priestess. When we focus on ourselves, when we draw back so much of the energy that maybe in earlier parts of our lives we're just going out to our twin, to other people, in part in people-pleasing ways, in part, when we draw back that energy and we focus on ourselves and we embody self-respect, self-honor, self-love, self-trust, honestly, this is soul retrieval. In the shamanic tradition, I have a lot of shamanic training. I've been a shaman in other lifetimes, so I really rely on shamanism for my understanding of life. This is soul retrieval. We are doing nothing less than actual soul retrieval. When we stop chasing, when we pull back our energy, when we tune into what is the highest and best path, what would my higher self do? When we see things from the highest perspective while allowing our human to have his or her feelings, this is soul retrieval. This is how we really embody our sovereignty. This is how we embody our wholeness, is by coming back to ourselves. We let go of grasping. We let go of trying to control anything on the external, including our twin flame relationship. We let go of making our twin right or wrong, anyone else right or wrong. We attempt to let go of feeling sad about it, although that certainly can come up, and we want to honor it if we miss our twin. And we let go of doubt. We let go of thinking, oh, this is some kind of trick. I'm in love with this person, but oh, maybe it'll never happen. We let go of all of that. The Empress, the Queen, the High Priestess lives in her sovereignty. She lives in her wholeness. She lives in her self-love, self-honor, self-trust, and she trusts her heart. She knows that what is within her heart is real, and she trusts what is within her heart. And if in your heart you have that love for your twin that only grows, trust that, and trust that all will unfold around that precious, sacred feeling, knowingness in your heart. Okay, and now the last step, the seventh step, is basically as within, so without. So what we're doing on this twin flame journey is we're balancing. Your twin is balancing, you are balancing, and as within, so without, as you both internally balance, you are then bringing external balance to the relationship. So, and even if, like, for instance, if you're doing the work around your attachment style, because of the mirroring that takes place between twins, likely your twin is going to have some insights, some different things they notice about their behavior. And so as you clean up, balance out your attachment style, likely you will see that your twin balances out their attachment style as well. And what's really interesting is often one twin is anxiously attached and another twin is avoidantly attached. And as they each balance out, they both come into secure attachment, which is just beautiful and so healthy and really in the union energy. So these are the 7 steps to stop chasing your twin flame. So just to recap, the first step is bringing awareness. What the heck am I doing? And why do I think I am chasing? And looking at the roots often of your childhood around that. Number 2, what would my highest consciousness do? Would my higher self chase? Probably not. But tune in, see what your higher self says. Number 3, make a commitment to do the highest and best behavior for yourself. And be gentle and kind with yourself. It may take time to shift out of that pattern. It's okay. It takes usually at least 30 days for us to adopt a new habit or pattern. Number 4, let your human have his or her feelings. It's hard. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. All of it. Allow your human to have those very sacred feelings. Number 5, lean on the larger perspective of what is going on. That if you are in separation, all of it truly is in your highest and best. Number 6, focus on yourself and the energy you are choosing to hold. Be the empress, be the queen, be the high priestess, be in your sovereignty, be in your wholeness, and lean on your faith, lean on the knowingness in your heart about your connection with your twin. And number 7, the knowingness as within, so without. As you are balancing, as you are healing, expanding, so is your twin, and thus so is the relationship. And all is well. All is well. So I'm just going to take a quick look. There were a few more chat messages here. Around communication, when we're feeling off is important. I often pick up Heather's energy. Okay, I think this is Ace, and feel she's mad at me or I did something wrong. Yet when inquiring, she tells me she's processing some stuff and that it isn't me. From that point, I have to accept it isn't me and stop taking it personal or create a mountain out of a molehill by making it about me. Both have happened. The former creates a whole lot more synergy than the latter. Yes, and someone here has organized the tips. Step 1, become the observer to change our habitual habits. Step 2, practice makes permanent. Step 3, release all that doesn't serve spirit. Yeah, that's a great way to really summarize a lot of what we've shared here. So again, just so much honoring to each and every one of you on this twin flame adventure. It is the adventure of a lifetime. So many gifts, so many challenges, a lot of pain can come up, but we know everything we're experiencing with our twin and with everyone else is bringing us home. It is bringing us back to ourselves, back to our sovereignty, back to our own self-love and self-trust, and ultimately back to our own inner peace and freedom. So we can be grateful for all of the experiences on our twin flame journey, while still, of course, allowing our precious human to have their feelings. So thank you so much. I'm so delighted and honored to be with you. And please reach out to me. The twin flame journey is so deep in my heart because, well, honestly, because it's been a very challenging journey for me. And so I really feel for everyone on this journey, and I want to support you and be of assistance in any way I can. So I am 1,000,000,000% here for you. Please reach out to me in any way, in the comments, private message me, anything. I'm here. I love you. I support you, and just every blessing to you on your amazing twin flame adventure. See you soon. Bye.